Today, we're diving into one of the greatest epic poems ever written. A true cornerstone of Spanish literature, the Song of My Cid. This is a story packed with action, betrayal, honor, and one man's incredible journey from disgraced exile to legendary hero. Our story kicks off with a scene of utter despair. El Cid, a loyal and brilliant knight of King Alfonso VI of Castile, is in tears. He's been falsely accused by his jealous rivals at court, men like Count Garcia Ordonez, who whispered lies into the king's ear. They claimed El Cid stole tribute money meant for the crown. Believing these lies, King Alfonso strips El Cid of all his lands, titles, and honor, and banishes him from the kingdom. He has just 9 days to leave his home, his wife, Jimena, and his 2 young daughters. It's a devastating blow. As he rides away from his home in Vivar, he looks back at his empty, plundered estate and knows he has nothing left but his honor and the small band of loyal vassals who choose exile with him. Forced out of Castile, El Cid and his followers need a place to stay and a way to survive. But King Alfonso has sent letters ahead, forbidding anyone from helping them, threatening severe punishment. They are outcasts. El Cid's first major move is a clever, if slightly deceptive, one. He fills 2 chests with sand, locks them, and presents them to 2 moneylenders, Raquel and Vidas. He tells them the chests are full of treasure but that he cannot open them for a year. He asks for a loan of 600 marks against this collateral. The moneylenders, greedy for the supposed riches, agree. With this money, El Cid can finally pay his men and provision his small army. It's a desperate act, but it shows his resourcefulness in the face of impossible odds. Now, with a bit of funding, El Cid begins his new life as a warrior for hire. A mercenary captain in the chaotic lands of medieval Spain, a region where Christian and Moorish kingdoms constantly fought. He's no longer fighting for his king, but for his own survival and reputation. His first major campaigns are brilliant. He leads his men in a series of lightning-fast raids and sieges, capturing Moorish towns like Castellón and Alcázar. He's not just a brute. He's a master strategist. He uses clever tactics, like a feigned retreat at Alcázar, to lure his enemies into a trap. With every victory, his army grows, his wealth increases, and his legend spreads like wildfire across the land. And here's a key detail. After every single victory, El Cid sets aside the royal fifth, the king's traditional share of the spoils, and sends it back to King Alfonso, along with lavish gifts. He is proving his loyalty, even in exile. This brings us to the second part of the poem, El Cantar de las Bodas, or the Song of the Weddings. El Cid's ultimate goal is to win back the king's favor. His campaign of conquest continues, culminating in the greatest prize of all, the magnificent, wealthy city of Valencia. After a grueling 3-year siege, El Cid conquers Valencia, establishing his own personal kingdom on the Mediterranean coast. He is now a lord in his own right, more powerful than many kings. This incredible achievement finally gets King Alfonso's attention. The constant stream of gifts and the sheer scale of El Cid's success are impossible to ignore. The king agrees to a formal meeting. At the shores of the river Tagus, the 2 men reconcile. The king publicly pardons El Cid and restores his family's honor. But this reconciliation comes with a catch. Seeing El Cid's immense power and wealth, 2 high-ranking nobles from the king's court, the Infantes de Carrion, see an opportunity. They are greedy, cowardly, and arrogant, but they have powerful family connections. They ask the king for permission to marry El Cid's daughters, Dona Elvira and Dona Sol. El Cid is hesitant. He has a gut feeling that these men are not worthy of his daughters. But to refuse a match proposed by the king would be a grave insult, undoing all his hard work. Reluctantly, he agrees. The wedding is celebrated with immense pomp and circumstance in Valencia. For a moment, it seems El Cid has achieved everything. His honor restored, his family reunited, and his daughters married into the highest levels of Castilian nobility. This leads us to the third and most dramatic part of the epic, El Cantar de la Afrenta de Corpse, the Song of the Affront at Corpse. The Infantes de Carrion soon reveal their true colors. They are living in Valencia, enjoying El Cid's wealth, but they are constantly mocked by his warriors for their cowardice. In one famous incident, a lion escapes from its cage in El Cid's court. While El Cid's men bravely surround the lion, the Infantes scream and hide. One diving under a bench, the other behind a wine press. El Cid calmly walks up to the lion and leads it back to its cage as if it were a pet. The court erupts in laughter, and the Infantes are deeply humiliated. Seeking revenge for this public shame, they devise a cruel and despicable plan. They ask El Cid for permission to take their wives back to their own lands in Carrion. El Cid, suspecting nothing, agrees and showers them with gifts, including his two legendary swords, Colada and Tizon. On their journey, the Infantes take a detour into a remote oak forest, the Corpse Grove. There, they send their escort ahead, and once alone with their wives, they strip them, beat them savagely with whips and saddle girths, and leave them for dead, stolen by wild beasts. They believe they have avenged their own wounded pride by dishonoring El Cid through his daughters. Miraculously, the daughters are found by El Cid's nephew, who had been sent to follow them out of suspicion. He brings them back to Valencia, broken and battered. When El Cid learns of this horrific act, he is not just a father filled with grief. He is a lord whose honor has been utterly defiled. This is not a personal matter to be settled with a sword in a dark alley. This is a legal and public outrage. El Cid appeals directly to King Alfonso, demanding justice. The king, horrified by the Infante's actions, convenes his royal court, the highest court in the land, at Toledo. This is the climax of the entire poem. El Cid arrives not as a warrior, but as a plaintiff in a legal battle. He stands before the king and the assembled nobles and makes three demands. First, he demands the return of his two swords. Colada and Tizon, humiliated, the Infantes have no choice but to give them back. Next, El Cid demands the return of all the wealth he gave them as a dowry. The Infantes, having already spent the money, are forced to pay him back with horses, property, and whatever they have left, leaving them impoverished. Finally, El Cid makes his third demand: a trial by combat. He accuses the Infantes of treason and cowardice and challenges them to a duel to prove their guilt in the eyes of God. 3 of El Cid's champions step forward to fight the Infantes and their brother. The duels are held, and El Cid's warriors decisively defeat the Infantes, who are publicly shamed and declared traitors. Their dishonor is now complete and permanent. The poem ends on a triumphant note. Just as the court case concludes, messengers arrive from the royal houses of Navarre and Aragon, hearing of the bravery and virtue of El Cid's daughters and the disgrace of their former husbands. These powerful princes now seek their hands in marriage. This second marriage is far more prestigious than the first. El Cid's daughters will now become queens. Through his perseverance, his strategic mind, and his unwavering commitment to his own honor, El Cid has risen from the lowest point of a banished exile to a position of ultimate triumph, with his family's lineage now tied to the royal thrones of Spain. His honor is not just restored, it is magnified beyond anything he could have imagined at the start. And that is the incredible story of the Song of My Cid. A timeless tale of how true worth, integrity, and resilience can overcome even the greatest injustice. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more epic stories. See you next time.